AFTV, Julian, wow, what a victory for Arsenal. It was very nervy there, not the big 5-0, 6-0s, tearing teams apart, but still 3 points. And a massive 3 points ahead of that game on, tomorrow, with Liverpool taking on Man City.
It was absolutely massive, and it was a feeling that I'd kind of forgotten, because football for the last 7 games before that was almost like a procession. It was watching like a carnival of football,
Yeah.
whereas today was it was horrible.
The nerves.
It was how football used to be for us, and I'd forgotten that feeling of absolute fear. And then when we scored the goal, yes, it was jubilation, but it was also relief, because we saw what Liverpool did last week, and I didn't think, it could have gone either way, the Liverpool game, but what we saw today was a game that I thought slightly more than marginally we deserved to win, whereas last week I thought Liverpool was completely even, it just went their way. But I want to say a few words about Brentford, because with the resources they've got, what they're doing is just incredible. It's just incredible. The results they've had, people have looked at them and said, well, it's going to be an easy win. But actually, when you look at the statistics of how they've won those games, they quite often have almost as many shots as the opposition. And today, I think they had 4 shots on target. And to put that in perspective, in the 7 games before that, Arsenal had conceded 7 shots on target, and today they conceded 4.
They gave us a serious game, and I mean that shot by Ivan Toney, if that goes in, that's goal of the season. It's a fantastic save by Ramsdale. But Ramsdale, it was him who let him back in with that big error.
Yeah, so when he did that, I loved Aaron Ramsdale as a character, but there's a lot of characters in the world that I can love. But you have had this debate about the Raya Ramsdale, who should be in goal, and I think, unfortunately, today that debate is over for me.
Well, listen. Remember, he hasn't played for a very long time, right? He's back here. I remember Raya having a similar one against Man City, but was it Man City?
It was Man City.
He got away with it, right? But he's not played for a long time. But what we can say is that after that, in the second half, he pulled off 2 stunning saves, didn't he?
All right, I'll just get the negative out of the way.
Yeah.
I haven't played for 30 years, and I wouldn't have made that mistake. After that, his commitment...
You got a trophy for that.
I've got many trophies, as you know. After that, you cannot fault him. To come back from that adversity and have that strength and depth of character is amazing, because most people that aren't professional footballers, and even professional footballers, they'd have gone in at half-time and just been in tears. They'd have just... You wouldn't have seen them in the second half. They would have hidden, wouldn't have wanted to get involved, and he carried on playing the game. So full respect to the man. I thought he was brilliant in the second half, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and another player who was brilliant in the second half was Kai Havertz. That's a huge goal by him. A lot of people wrote him off when he first came, but every week he's proving everybody wrong, isn't he?
Well, he's not proving everybody wrong, because what you're saying is everyone wrote him off, and everyone didn't write him off, because those of us that understand football, which I would include myself in that bracket, have never ever disrespected or said that Kai Havertz is a poor player. So I never wrote him off. I thought it was a good player when he came. He just needed time to settle. He's got settled now, and now we're seeing the best of the guy.
He's one of the most important players in the team right now, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He's integral. But here's the thing about that team. It's very difficult to pick out any one player and say they are the focal point. They've got 11 focal points, and then what they've got after that is 3, 4, 5 players that come on and slip in seamlessly and be the focal points. It's not just that first 11. Look at what Reece Nelson did today. He's come on. So I would say that the game changed when he came on. And Jesus, again, the substitutions. It's not just, you can't just pick out Kai Havertz. You can't just pick out Ben White. What you can say, those 2 players had an integral part in the goal that we scored.
All right, now we can relax tomorrow and watch that game, Liverpool versus Manchester City. What's the best scenario for you in that game?
Lots of injuries and sending us off.
Result-wise?
Result-wise, a draw, obviously. The maths is obvious.
If it ain't a draw?
Okay.
If it ain't a draw, who would you rather win that game?
right, it's Manchester City I'd rather see for one reason and one reason alone, because I don't want them to be like this hurt animal when we play them again in a few weeks. And I think if they lose to Liverpool, I cannot see a Man City then lose it. I just can't see that team losing 2 in a row.
But then on the same token, if they win tomorrow, they know that if they beat us, they're right in the driving seat for that don't come into it for me. It's like, what do you want? What would be the best scenario if, because I don't know. I think you could look on it the other way. City then get momentum going into our game. Know that if they take us at the Etihad, which, let's be real, they have done time and time again, they're in the driving seat for the league.
Yeah, whichever answer you give, there is a very good counter argument. For me, the luck and the momentum seems to be with Liverpool. I think Liverpool are a great team. I don't want to say they're just lucky, but I would say out of the 3 teams that are competing for the league, Liverpool have shown the most luck, and I don't want that luck to carry on.
Yeah, that's why.
So you'd rather, if someone had to win, you go City.
If someone has to win, I'd rather Liverpool.
We're top of the league for the moment. One last thing.
Sorry, I'd rather Man City. I've got that completely wrong.
One last thing I've got to ask you, of course, Tuesday night, another big game here, against Porto in the Champions League. We're going to face a similar type of style, I feel, to what we saw today. You confident we can get through in that as well?
Yeah, and I think today's been a really good test. I think, it's been brilliant the last 7 games and the kind of results we've had, but today, having an actual game of football, a really competitive game of football, and having to dig in, I think sets us up perfectly. I've always been confident that we can beat Porto, even after what we saw when we went there. Porto, I'm not going to say they're a terrible team, but they're not as good as we are, and we should beat them, and we should beat them well.